It's day one, let's get into it. Alright, so we basically just got the van home, got some insulation on the way, and let's go.
The van's actually a lot cleaner than I thought. I was expecting a bit of rust here and there, but it's actually not much, just a few little bits. So I'm going to pull the roof lining out and clean it all up, and then I'm going to paint it all black, put rust converter on the little bits or whatever, and give it a good base to start insulating, and then put all the cladding in, and VanSauna coming at ya. Woo woo! Now taken all the panels off. I have sanded the roof where I saw little bits of rust, so we're going to paint those nicely and treat them. And then I've taken the side panels out, going to give this a clean and paint that too, just because we want to make sure that this thing will never collect rust once it's all together and it's sauna hot, cold, hold. So I'm going to paint all that, because eventually I will put insulation into these pockets as well. Yeah, so sanded everything, wiped everything down with turps, give it all clean, finish these bits, and then I'm going to paint it all blacked and put rust protection paint, zinc coating on all the bits that look like they were a little bit rusty. But this van is actually in really, really good shape, which I'm very surprised because of its age. So got a good deal on this one. Let's get it. First, guys, so face masks, some gloves, that's for when I'm standing, and this is what we're going to use just as a bit of a rust primer. Zinc is really good for this kind of stuff, anti-corrosive coating. So I've cleaned up all these panels now, given the whole van a bit of a wipey sandy, and I'm going to go black everywhere here. Probably the floor I'm going to use some sort of actual exterior, I don't know, waterproof barrier type paint. I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but I'm still got to sand all the floor and cut all the little rust out, block all the holes, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do the floor later. Hot tip, if you're being a bit careless with paint, wind your windows down so you don't get any paint on your windows, because that's going to be hard to get off later. I'm going pretty carefree with this one, so I've just kind of used these old panels to protect the seats a little bit, and I'm probably just going to go a bit carefree with the paint, see where it ends up, and then you can always repaint that section later. But I'm just being a bit lazy on this one rather than taping everything up, because anyway, it's a cheap van, it's a cheap idea, and that's the plan anyway, to try and keep it cheap. But we'll see what happens when we're all in. So it is a bit of a rushing in certain areas just to get it done and have some fun, but also not rushing in the areas that are kind of important. So let's get some black paint on it and put some PPE on and see where we go. In PPE, I don't have any goggles at the moment, which I probably should wear, but let's get the first coats of paint on this beach. I'm just using the zinc coating where there was a bit of rust, and then sanded back. And then I'm going to use the cheaper black paint for the rest of it, because it's really just to make it look black. And this will protect the rusty bits where they need to be protected, type thing. The worst, cheapest paint, so it will have the tendency to want to run if I do even the slightest bit of a thick coat, because A, it's cold, B, it's just shit paint. So I'm expecting some runs. Don't tell me I'm a shit painter. It's just fucking horrible paint. But that's okay, because all of this will be sealed up at some point with wood cladding and whatnot, so it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't really matter. So let's go. I found my goggles. Oh yeah. The question you've all been wondering, how many cans of paint does it take to paint a high-ace van? See if you can guess it right. The answer to the question you've all been wondering is it takes exactly 6 cans of shitty, cheap, fiddly bits to paint the inside of a Toyota Hiace. I could have continued on the roof there. That can still maybe has a quarter, close to a half left in it. So it's pretty much those, just to do all the sidewalls. Yeah, and I've got a whole different painting idea for the floor. Some thick roll-on rust proofing stuff to make it real good on the floor. And the roof, well, actually doesn't really matter that much. I was only doing it where there were old, little bits of rust here and there, because there is going to be the insulation and everything else, so you never see it. But yeah, 6 cans to paint a whole van, or the inside of a Hiace. There you go. That's how far we got on the rusty bits. Sanded it all back, and this is now primed with rust cure, rust converter type sealant. Kind of running out of time today, but I got most of the bits, and then I'll probably come back and do like the top part. It's kind of the first thing I do anytime I get a van, is just like get the rust out of it. Like where I ended up at the top here as well, I just did a straight line on one of the seams. So there's a seam there and a seam there. Looks pretty good. At some point in the future, maybe I'll paint that like some weird purple, or something a bit cool. I guess I got to take that front window out and get rid of the rust around this edge. Well, the front window is pretty bad. The rest was actually really good. So the front window is where it's at. Side window is, well, pretty much perfect. So nothing to do there. Nothing to see here, folks. All right, see you in the next vid. Bye.